Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. It's the healing of Bartimaeus. It's really a great one, I think. Mark probably had a lot of fun writing this gospel. As Jesus was leaving Jericho with his disciples and a sizable crowd, Bartimaeus, a blind man, the son of Timaeus, sat by the roadside begging. On hearing that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." And many rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he kept calling out all the more, "Son of David, have pity on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take courage, get up, he's calling you." He threw aside his cloak, sprang up, and came to Jesus. Jesus said to him in reply, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man replied to him, "Master, I want to see." Jesus told him, "Go on your way, your faith has saved you." Immediately he received his sight and followed him on the way. Okay, so let's see how we can apply this gospel to our lives. Like I said, seeing is a metaphor for our discipleship. And the disciples and the crowd following Jesus don't seem to have a very mature discipleship yet. Bartimaeus certainly does seem to have it. You know what? Sometimes we're a little bit like the disciples and the crowd. Sometimes we keep people away from Jesus Christ instead of bringing them to Jesus Christ. And I think that was probably happening in Mark's gospel. And that's why he included this story in his gospel. That there were some people in his church that were just kind of a little too comfortable. And instead of bringing those people who were needy, they were trying to keep them at a distance. Maybe thinking that there wasn't enough of Jesus to go around. Well, this is what I'm going to encourage all of us to do this week. Stop doing those things that keep people from Jesus. Stop doing those things that keep people from Jesus. And do those things that bring people to Jesus. It's pretty simple. So, what are some of the things that we should stop doing? Okay, here's a couple. Stop keeping silent about your faith. Stop not sharing your faith. Stop just being a disciple. I mean, it's great to be a disciple. God bless you. God bless me. But God is calling us to be more than just disciples of Jesus Christ. He's calling us to be missionary disciples. So, stop not sharing your faith. Stop not being a missionary disciple. What else? Stop talking bad about the church. We all know the church needs to be reformed. Semper ecclesia reformanda. There's plenty of things that are wrong with the church. But if all we do is talk trash about the church, especially around other Christians, it starts to depress us, and that's not fair. Stop trashing the church. What else? Stop sometimes making fun of other Christians who don't believe that we do, or stop criticizing them. Okay, they're our brothers and sisters in the Lord. And if Christians, really talk down about other Christians, especially in the presence of non-Christians or Christians who may have been baptized but aren't practicing, that's really terrible. Okay, besides individual Catholics, our parishes need to stop doing certain things as well that keep people from Jesus. What can our parishes stop doing? Stop expecting non-Catholics to come to us. We can't sit in the pews and just lament the fact that our pews are empty and so many non-Catholics are no longer practicing their faith, okay, and that they're not coming to us. We got to stop expecting them just to come. Okay. Now, what are some things that we can do? What are some things that we can do to bring people to Jesus Christ? Be joyful. Really. You know, people are looking for joy in today's world. And Pope Francis talks about the joy of the gospel. So be joyful. Be upbeat when you're talking about your faith and witness it. Be joyful. What else can we do? Look for opportunities to talk to people about your parish or about the Catholic Church. So try to have spiritual conversations with people. That's a couple of things you can do. Some things that your parishes can do, and our parishes in general. You know what? Think like the unchurched. Lots of times, parishes just think like church people. And so we get in church world bubble. We get into our Catholic world bubble, and we think like Catholics. We need to think like the unchurched do, and then, if we can think like them, then we can start to program for them. That's really, really important. Another thing that we should do is prioritize the unchurched. You know, that's part of what evangelization is. We don't want to neglect the spiritual needs of Catholics, but if we're not careful, we Catholics can just become consumers. And we want our parishes to meet our spiritual needs. So, parishes should prioritize the unchurched. And if we start to do that, we can see some really great things happening. God bless everyone. You're watching this on a Friday, most likely, and have a great weekend. Peace.